Hi everybody, I'm going to make a little video here about all there is to know about the Yorklyn pole lights. So just some of the basics. All the poles are mounted in concrete bases, and of course the electrical wire is run under the ground in conduit. You can actually access the wiring in the base if you open up the plug. That's full of dirt and garbage over the years, but there's no real reason to be in there anyway. Each of the concrete bases is probably original, and they are all in need of a skim coat of concrete to keep them from crumbling further, but that's something to do. The pole itself is obviously metal, and to care for the pole, and you can see this one needs it now, about every 5 years or so, you need to take a metal grinder, grind everywhere you see rust and loose paint until you get down to the bare metal, and then paint it with some kind of outdoor oil-based paint. I would recommend that's a primer and paint all in one. If not, then definitely prime it first and then paint it. But anyway, not much to actually maintaining the poles themselves. The poles are the most important part, because if you look at the top, you see the light. That's just a head that attaches onto the pole. So if the light were ever seriously damaged, you might not have to replace the whole pole. You could take it down, take the top off, put a new top on with 2 new light heads, and go from there. So keeping those poles from rusting too much is the key. Now the most common thing you have to do to maintain them is to change the light bulbs. So I have been getting a 500 watt clear specialty halogen bulb. You get them at Lowe's. You can see they're $6 each. There's also a 300 watt version. The 300 watt is probably what is cooler, and so it probably is a little bit better for preserving the life of the fixture, which I'll show you when I take it down. But anyway, 500 is bright, and so that's what I tend to get. And in order to change that light bulb, what you need is the bulb, a pipe wrench, and some kind of rope. Now, Yorklyn pole never seems to have any rope, so I'm just going to use this extension cord. Not the correct use of an extension cord, but there it is, and I'll show you how it works. The cord hooks into this ring, so when you lower the pole, you can get the pole back up again when you're done. And the pipe wrench just removes that bolt. Start filming. Good?
Mm-hmm.
All right, folks, come a little closer, Katie. Take your rope, loop it in through the ring. Get enough knot that's not going to come down on you. The pipe wrench. Come around this side. Goes on the nut. If you keep the nut greased, which I don't always do, they turn and they come off quite easily. The pole never comes down without you giving a little bit of a shove, so you don't have to worry about it flying up on you. It's pretty stiff. Once you have the nut off, get the cord out of the way, give it a pull, and down it comes. Ta-da. All right. Thank you, Katie. So I'll have this glass cover. If the glass ever breaks, you can just go to Kennett Glass and get a new piece cut. They'd like you to bring the old piece, so you try to remove it as best you can from here. To do that, you unscrew this little screw, and these are rusting, you can see. Probably should be hit up with some naval jelly to restore the metal a little bit. They still work though. When they go completely, just cut it off and put a new screw in there. There's nothing wrong with the frame itself. All right, so when you lift up the cover, there's 4 screws with the glazing there. If you need to change the glass, you just loosen the screws and the glass will pop right out. It basically tightens up the frame to keep it in there. That's how it works. So you would remove this entire piece of glass, take it to Kennett Glass, they'll cut you a new one. The light fixture itself, you can see, the halogen bulb just fits into these 2 little gizmos here. They push in And that's how you get the bulb out. You have to get my handy dandy camera person again. Hang on.
You're really tall.
Jeez, I should have done my hair. All right, kids. First thing about the bulbs is don't touch them with your hands. If you get your oil on this bulb, because it's 500 watts and very hot, the bulb's life will not be as long. So when you actually make the change of the bulb, use a paper towel to hold it. Come over here for the light. Let's get for the close-up. So after you open the glass cover, it can be a little awkward holding the cover open if you're doing it by yourself. But basically, you push this white thing in, either one of them, and then pull the bulb out. It does help to have a helper. There we go. Got it. Bulb's out. Now for the new one. And my trusty friend Katie's gonna have to film and hold the cover at the same time. All right, new bulb. Not yet, I don't think. If you just put it in the guard shack, I'll make sure somebody puts it someplace safe. It's part of the movie. Okay, now, take the bulb, hold it, stick in one side, keep the towel on the bulb, push the other side in, click, give it a little bit of a turn to make sure it's in there nice, close the cover, tighten the screw. All right, Katie, back out for the wide shot. Pull the light back up. Take the nut. Put the nut back on. Get it back on. Don't over tighten. Just enough to make it snug. And that's it. End of movie.